Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon. This is Jerry Siegel speaking on behalf of Time to Play Foundation with our weekly business success podcast. And as we do every week at this time, and as is available other times on Blog Talk Radio, Time to Play Foundation, a not-for-profit 501c3, with a mission and purpose to enrich the lives of others through programs, public awareness, outreach activities, events, and learning opportunities that further the concept of enjoying life, is presenting these podcasts in order to help people succeed in business, which is certainly very challenging, and the environment doesn't get easier. We've expressed in previous podcasts that succeeding in business is definitely difficult and requires education, it requires assistance, and it requires persistence, patience, and perseverance. Today we're fortunate to have on the line somebody who was just fairly recently started a new business. It's Ellen Williams. I will ask her to introduce herself in just a moment. Let me say that, again, my name is Jerry Siegel. My company is JASB Management. I'm in the business of management training and development. We try to help management learn skills such as communication, delegation, goal setting, leadership, management, motivation, personal and organizational development, as well as time management. All the skills that are necessary to run oneself and one's business outside of the specifics of the industry. With that said, let me introduce Ellen. And actually, before I ask Ellen to introduce herself, I believe that's Doreen or Gina who's on the phone.
It's Doreen. I'm here.
Okay, Doreen, why don't you just introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Doreen Guma. I'm the founder of the Time to Play Foundation, which is an advocacy organization, as Jerry explained, to help people become inspired to love their life and enjoy life and have well-being, happy, healthy, have money, work-life balance is our philosophy. And the Business Success Podcast, which Jerry is so gracious to coordinate, is here to help us have a better quality of life. So this is why we're doing this, and thank you so much, Jerry. If anybody has any topics they want to discuss, please reach out to us. 631-331-2675 is the office number, or contact us through the podcast, or contact us through email, info@timetoplay.com. So thank you so much again, Jerry, for helping us with this.
Okay, with that said, let me introduce again Ellen Williams and ask her to introduce herself briefly. She's going to be talking about connecting with your prospects today. Ellen?
Hi, Jerry and Doreen. It's a real pleasure to be here today. I'm a big fan of the Time to Play Foundation. And Doreen, you mentioned, being inspired, and I'm happy to be here, inspired to have recently started a new business called B2B R&D, and our mission is to help marketers maintain their knowledge of all things digital marketing, so the better they are at their job, which primarily is helping other businesses with their marketing, will hopefully then help those businesses grow. And when businesses grow, the economy gets better. And so the overall mission is, I guess, for us to change the world, right? and do good things and bring our passion to the table as we do it.
And Ellen, we've touched on the critical component and critical need for marketing previously, but we've never been as fortunate as to have an expert in the field. So that's one of the reasons why we're very appreciative that you're able to join us today and provide some insight and information to those listening.
Oh, thank you so much, Jerry. It truly is my pleasure.
So tell us about connecting with your prospects.
So what's really going on in marketing today in response to connecting with your prospects, reaching your prospects, identifying your prospects, is a new look at developing the buyer persona, or the demographics, as has been talked about for years. And it's not just the standard, male, female, age range, things that have been part of demographics before. But really connecting with your prospects today means getting personal. And the good news is, with social media, a lot of your prospects are talking about things that are pretty personal. And you're able to really better understand who these people are, what they're passionate, what inspires them. And when you get that kind of picture about the people you want to be working with or selling to, you can deliver messages that are much more meaningful.
Well, we certainly understand that getting one's message across is a critical component, because without clients or customers, there is no business. So, Ellen, talk to us about some of the new ways that marketing is creating some interest and some reason for being involved with the organization.
Absolutely. So two things. When you're considering who your potential customers are, really look at what your product and service has to offer and who that's best suited for. Again, go beyond the age demographic, the gender demographic, and really try to identify who that person is, where they hang out, what their interests are. And from there, the internet is just a plethora of information. You can dive right into social media and start searching for conversations that are around those types of passions, those types of things that people are doing. And when you understand who they are and when they're doing them, Google has recently talked about being able to market into the moments. And certainly digital marketing has allowed you to do that, because you can be very real time. So in the searching that you're doing online to really gather information about these prospects, you're also able to connect with them. You can do it via social media. You can try to drive them to your website and get them to sign up for your email. And everything you do from that point forward needs to be really personalized. That's not necessarily a new concept. There's been segmentation, in previous years where, emails come in to Dear Jerry or Dear Ellen, so you feel that it's personalized. But now it needs to take one step further and really address what is going to be of interest to Jerry, different than what may be of interest to Ellen. But both messages are going to support the product or service that is going to solve, both our needs. And by utilizing social media and really digging into the information that's there, for example, you can go into, my Twitter account and see things I'm talking about and identify what persona I would match that you've developed. And you can start to grow your network and your community online around those types of people, so your messages really resonate. Other options, certainly from a retail standpoint, a new technology that really gained some traction last year were beacons. And through the Bluetooth on your phone and the potential app that you're using for that specific store, they know where you are in the store and can easily send you information about what's in the aisle that you happen to be standing in. And that becomes very personalized, whether you've been in the store before or this is your first time. If they've developed that connection technologically with you, then they're really personalizing their messaging around who you are and what you might be looking for today. And that's really the trend that's moving forward. The big, broad stroke of demographics is being crushed, and specifically the millennials are leading that charge, as they certainly all don't fit into, one. It's like putting a round peg in a square hole, right, or a square peg in a round hole. They don't all fit the mold, and you really need to identify who they are and what they want. in an effort to communicate with them in a way that will get them to do business with you.
Well, thank you, Ellen, for that introduction and that insight. Before we ask you to expand on some of those newer tools, we have a couple of other people on the call today, probably a couple of people from the Long Island Advancement of Small Business. I believe that Maury Kleiner is there. I believe John Hill, the leader of the LIASP, is on there. So let me ask either or both to introduce themselves, and possibly Jim McGowan from Adelphi University. Okay. Is there anybody else on the call who would like to introduce themselves today?
I'm on the call. Gina Lollo, how are you?
Oh, Gina, I'm sorry. I omitted you. Gina is connected with Time to Play Foundation, and she conducts other podcasts for Time to Play to help people learn to enjoy their life. So, Ellen, talk about some of the aspects. I heard you referring to the new technology to obtain the attention from somebody who is within the framework of a retail business. But can you talk about getting to the decision maker to have the conversation that I heard you refer to?
Sure. So outside of retail, where the decision maker obviously is the consumer in the store deciding whether or not to buy the item, there's an opportunity to identify who that decision maker is. Again, what is important to that person. Sometimes the decision maker, certainly in a business-to-business environment, is anyone potentially in the C-suite. So it could be the CEO, the CMO, the CFO, the CIO, etc. And those people are easily found online as well. Many of them you'll find in LinkedIn. You may go to industry-specific sites where they may be hanging out as well. Certainly for me as a marketer, one such site is called Showcase, and you do find a lot of decision makers in those areas. There are a couple other places. One is Opportunity, another one is Alignable, and these are websites where businesses come together and sort of talk about what they have to offer, and in addition, what they're looking for. And so those are great places to better understand what they want and be able to personalize your message. And once you've gotten the attention, certainly, of the decision maker, whoever you identify that to be for your business, if it's not appropriate to, start the conversation with a phone call, I struggle. Certainly, I'll be honest, I struggle with sales, and cold calls is not something that I look forward to. So I try to make sure that the opportunity for a warm call is there. Once you get their attention and potentially have them on your mailing list, then other technologies such as marketing automation can really help make sure you're getting the right information from them and to them. And workflows can be developed where if they take a specific action, or you're able to acquire specific information about them, not just email and title, but again, do a little bit of searching. Have they blogged? What do they blog about? What are their interests? Are they on Twitter? Are they speaking on Twitter differently than they're speaking on LinkedIn or other places? You can acquire information that would trigger specific emails to be sent. So, for example, with our own business, if we're looking to get our message out to decision makers to subscribe to our service, we may look specifically for context that they're putting out there around, say, advertising or marketing or mobile, those types of things. And if we see them mentioning advertising, the email that goes to them would focus around that particular interest versus someone who talks more about marketing. Our email to them would talk more about marketing. So the more we gather information about them, we can structure the marketing automation to send the right message. And then if they take an action within that email, it can trigger the next step, eventually getting us to the point where a phone call would be appropriate because we've had multiple touch points that they've actually responded to.
Well, I think, Ellen, mentioning the multiple touch points and mentioning the warm marketing approach, let me share that I am attempting to contact the CEO, the president, or the business owner, or a managing partner of an accounting or law firm, certainly challenging people to get to. And I've had success with a warm marketing approach where I will send an email that provides no marketing material, just some information that may be helpful to them for their business and for their people. And after sending a couple of emails with a number of attachments on each one, having seen my business name on the attachments, hopefully I will be able to have them answer the phone when I place the call, and then have them speak to me. That is certainly similar to the warm marketing approach that I hear you talking about.
And that's exactly right, Gary, especially when you're talking about email marketing. You shouldn't be putting content in an email that's marketing yourself or trying to have a sales edge to it. Delivering content via email that's informative, educational, supportive of their field, did you know kind of information, or even invitations to local events that you think would interest them is a great way to make a digital introduction of sorts so that they do recognize your brand and the fact that you're not trying to sell to them, but you're trying to develop a relationship. And really, when you talk business to business, and especially when you're trying to reach the CEO and decision makers in a business, relationship and the strength of your relationship is going to play a tremendous role in getting to the sale.
Doreen, Gina, you have any questions that you might want to ask Ellen, since she's the expert in this area?
I'd just like to comment on what she just most recently said. I think that's so very important that you put out information and be the resource for your clientele and not be the salesperson. I think that's so very important, and I try to do that in my day-to-day interactions with my clients. I do a lot of email marketing, and I feel that you do need to provide content. You need to provide information to the clients that not in a pushy way, but in an informational way. So I just want to agree with what she said. I think it's very, very important. I think it's a very nice way to start to create that relationship, because it's the relationship that really counts. So.
Can I jump in here?
Oh, yes, John. Please introduce yourself.
This is John Hill. I run a company called John A. Hill & Associates, and I'm also the president and founder of Long Island Advancement of Small Business. The word that I like to think when we talk about sales, and I get upset sometimes because salesmen, they down roll of a salesman. But in this day and age, they no longer call them salesmen, they call them trusted advisors, because you'll find yourself not only talking about your product but other things within the organization that the client may want. And I've found that to be the case more times than once.
Thank you, John. Certainly that is an extremely good point, because, again, people don't want to be sold, but they want to be able to be in a position where they want to buy. And by helping them see what the needs are, helping them learn what the benefits that they're going to gain or the losses they're going to avoid, may allow them to want to buy your product or your services. Ellen, talk about for a moment what is taking place with marketing in regards to the devices that everybody is using, which are primarily cell phones at this point in time, and how that needs to differ in regards to the message that's being sent.
Sure, thanks so much. And I totally agree with everything John and Gina were saying, and if we parlay that into the fact that all those types of messages, the trusted advisor, the relationship, the resource, all those messages need to fit in the palm of everyone's hand, right? So it's the smartphone, the mobile devices that are really everywhere, right? And so the biggest consideration is the size of the message. In an email marketing campaign, you want to make sure that your email is optimized for mobile and that your most important piece of information, now again, it's not going to be the quote-unquote sales pitch, but it could be and should be some call to action, is what they call above the scroll line. So when I get your email and it's in my hand, on my mobile device, the initial communication should be personalized. Dear Ellen, there should be some level of interest in either the subject line or the first few sentences, and then certainly lead me to the next step. And that could be anything from downloading something, going to your website, continuing to read the beginning of an article that was in the email, again, linking to your website, maybe driving me to social media, where you could be doing a poll, or you could be doing a sweepstakes, or even as simple as, email me for more information, or call and let's talk. All of those are considered, calls to action, and none of them need to be considered, a sale. And with that kind of communication in the palm of my hand, you need to make it short, sweet, to the point, because not only do you have limited screen space, as we have learned in the past few years, you have limited attention span as well to be able to get your message across. So it's keeping your content to the point, but also what you're going to see much more of this year is video. Video that is primarily built for mobile. So if you're starting to produce video, consider that mobile devices are both vertical and horizontal, and YouTube now is making accommodations for videos that play on a more vertical so that it does fill the screen better and you don't have to be turning your mobile devices. But video is a very, very effective way to get your message across. Typically, a 9-second video advertisement is a good length of time if it's a true advertisement, because whatever I really want to watch, you're sort of getting in between me and the video I wanted to watch. Longer videos, if they're informational, instructional, educational, those are also going to be very, very good ways of getting your messages across. And then we've got live streaming as well, things like Periscope and Meerkat, which are built for mobile, where you're part of the conversation is very similar to what we're doing here on an audio level, is being done visually on the mobile devices. So there's a lot of things that can be added to a good marketing strategy in the upcoming year that can help you really reach people where they are, when they are, and on their device of choice.
Well, and I completely agree with you with regards to the need for call to action, but let me be a little bit of a realist in that regard, and that is the few people, the small, very, very tiny percentage of people who are proactive, who are going to take that call to action and follow up and follow through with it. How can you make the call to action worthwhile? Obviously, a special offer or a special consideration might do that, but from a marketing perspective, since you have so little time to capture the attention of the viewer or the listener, what do you think can be done?
So you really want to capture their interest, and you're absolutely right. In some instances, discounts, coupons, things like that are calls to action that could be very relevant and time time sensitive. Other calls to action could be that you have a great piece of information on your website. You give them really the equivalent of a teaser in the email that piques their attention and interest, and a simple call to action that says, click here to read more. So your email then drives traffic to your website, which is always a good thing, because at your website you're going to have more opportunity for the potential for conversion, right, to get quote-unquote technical. Your website really should offer much more in the way of calls to action and interactivity than an email can. So you want to deliver information in an email that can lead them somewhere else. Additionally, any action they do take can be tracked, and that action can help to build that persona. So if you have 3 links in your email and one of them gets substantially more click-throughs than the other, now you're starting to learn what your audience is looking for, or those people that clicked that, you've harnessed that information in your marketing automation, and they get the next email that looks and feels a little different than people who may not have even opened that first one in the first place.
Some great insight there, Ellen, which we certainly appreciate. Let me add, for anybody that is listening live today or anybody that listens in the future, as Doreen said previously, we encourage you to email. We encourage you to contact us with questions, with thoughts, with ideas, with suggestions, both for these podcasts as well as to understand what you need to know. Now, in previous podcasts, we've covered everything from starting the business and all the planning and goal setting that's necessary in that regard, to whether you are going to go by yourself or have partners. The fact that you're a salesperson, you need to manage yourself, you need to manage your money, you need to understand failure, you need to understand risk. Seeing that Ellen is relatively new in her business, let me ask her, why did you get into or start this business, Ellen?
Thanks so much, Jerry. For previous 4 years, so B2B R&D is just short of a year old, and for the 4 years prior to starting it, I had the pleasure of being the Regional Development Director for Constant Contact. And in my role there, I had the opportunity to communicate a lot with Constant Contact's reseller channel, which is made up primarily of small marketing companies. And over through the 4 years, the theme was the same. They just didn't have a lot of time to maintain their knowledge of all the changes that were going on in digital marketing while running their businesses and doing the marketing for their clients. And over those 4 years, I started sending them information about, hey, did you hear about this? Did you see this? Links. And then we would have chats about maybe how to take what was going on and create a new service. And one of them one day said to me, "This is terrific. You're just like my R&D department." And the light bulb went off, and I said, if this one person needs, that person doing this research and helping them grow, then there's a good chance there's a bigger market for that out there. And so I resigned from Constant Contact and launched B2B R&D with that in mind, that we would connect with marketers and help them grow their businesses.
Thank you, Ellen.
It's Doreen, by the way. I unfortunately had my phone on mute, and I was talking, and nobody was answering me, and I didn't realize. Well, now, why not? Oh, my God, how dumb is that? Because I heard myself talking. I just didn't. Nobody else did. So one of the things I just wanted to say was thank you for Ellen to be doing this valuable service, because with the information oversaturation that is out there, it is so important for us as business owners or people who work for an organization, because it's our job as a worker to assure that an organization flourishes. That's our job. We work for them. To help us streamline our time and help us reach our targets and help us be more effective. And, anything that could be utilized, and especially with her experience in what she's just explaining, her background and experience, this is the smarter way to work. And I just wanted to emphasize that's something that we do need to do is look for the smarter way to, break through. And again, the whole information oversaturation out there is beyond even just the person walking through the food store or the store where she's talking about that new technology. We're on our cell phone, we're on we're texting, we got like 7,000 things coming at us at the same time, always. So I appreciate the service and the information to help us streamline. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you, Doreen, and those are certainly good points. And again, let me emphasize that is the reason for these podcasts, because we are trying to provide some insight, information, experience, and expertise from some of us who have been there, who have seen things that work and seen things that don't work. And as I said at the beginning, succeeding in any business endeavor is not easy. There is no such thing as the overnight success when it comes to business. And these podcasts are designed to share some of that experience, some of that insight, some of the expertise, some of the wisdom that has been acquired. So we encourage anybody who is attempting to start or succeed in a relatively new business, or even somebody that has been in business for a long time, because there is just so much to learn. There's so much to know beyond the specifics of the area or the industry or the profession that you are working in. And the fact is that the only specifics of the industry or the business or the profession or the specific expertise related to what somebody is providing, whether it's a product or a service, only consists of a small portion of what's necessary for a successful business. So we run these weekly podcasts to provide you with some additional expertise that hopefully will help people succeed. We mentioned the Long Island Advancement for Small Business. They're located here on Long Island, but regardless of where you may be located, there are organizations such as SCORE, such as similar organizations to the LIASB that may provide expertise, may provide the knowledge that can be helpful, and frequently they are provided at either no cost or at a relatively low cost. So we encourage people to ask for help. We encourage people to utilize what has been previously learned, because even though the only constant in life is change, one thing that has not changed is wisdom. Wisdom just grows, wisdom just expands. And many things that were learned thousands of years ago still apply today and will apply years from now. So with that said, let me ask if anybody has any last comment or last thoughts on the area of connecting with your prospects, and I will throw it open for conversation. In the absence of any more thoughts, let me thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. We will be back on the air again next Tuesday at noon. And once again, please feel free to email timetoplay.com, info@timeplay.com, with any questions that you might want to have us discuss on these podcasts, any information you might want to share, or anything that we have not covered that you would like us to expand on. We are expecting in the next month or two to start interviewing some other business owners to talk about what got them into business, how they get into business, what they have found that has helped them succeed, what they need to find in order to succeed, what they would do again if they had the opportunity to do it differently, a host of questions. And we encourage people, if they are participating, to ask us what you want us to provide.
One quick thing, really quick. There's a couple of really cool events that we're working on coming up. So Jerry has, for ODNLI, there's a panel. He's got another one for February, but the one for March that the foundation is going to be doing regarding health on March 1 in Hauppauge, New York. We have they call it Stony Brook, but it's Coram, the Holiday Inn Express. Gina's Business Brunch Alliance is hosting a foundation fundraiser for the Basement Program, which is a safe and sober environment for youth. So that's on March 9. On April 16, we have the I Can Be Extraordinary, a super, super empowering fashion show for Special Olympics benefit. April 16th at the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove. And May 21st, we have the Winning at the Game of Life, It's Time to Get Back to Basics conference at the Ramada Plaza, exit 63 of the Long Island Way, Holtsville, New York, which is so exciting. So I just figured before we closed, I'd throw that out. If anybody has inquiries about those informations, anything to add to collaborate or participate or even be a speaker at any of the events that we're coming up with in the very next few weeks. I mean, this is very quick. It's February already. So let me know. And Jerry's going to be speaking on time management at the May 21st conference, which is going to be very informative. He's a world of wisdom, this man. So I appreciate everything. So thank you.
I just want to...
Thank you, Doreen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jerry.
I just wanted to add, we suggest that you also please support the sponsors for Time to Play. Again, Time to Play is a not-for-profit, and we only can provide this information based on volunteers such as those who are on the call today and the help from our sponsors. So please look on the website for timetoplay.com and support our sponsors. Yes, that was Ellen or Gina. You wanted to add something?
I just wanted to, speaking of sponsors, I just wanted to make an announcement that we are currently looking for sponsors to sponsor the event that the Business Brunch Alliance, we meet in Lake Grove every Thursday at 9:30. The third Thursday of every month is for members only, but we welcome visitors at any time. Any business owners that want to come down and visit us, please do so. We are a business networking group. And, we meet, we build each other up, we, build relationships, and, we work to help each other build our businesses. That being said, we wanted to do something that was businesses giving back. So real quick, we wanted to sponsor the Time to Play Foundation and bring in a fundraiser to do so. So we are going to be sponsoring the event on the 9th. It's 5:30 to 8:30 at the Holiday Inn Express. On 347. If anybody has any questions, would like to sponsor, would like to make any sort of donations at all, no donation is too small. We have tables you can sponsor, raffles you can be part of, you can donate a service, you can donate a gift certificate, and we would be much appreciated. So you can contact either myself, leave my number quickly, 631-335-7078, or you can reach out to Doreen at the Time to Play Foundation as well. Doreen, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but thank you very much for
the contact for us is on the website, so that's easy enough. If somebody doesn't have a pen and they're listening and they just go to timetoplay.com, TIMETOPLAY. Very easy to remember. Please do. The more people that participate, the founding principles of the foundation is people helping people, and collaboration equals success. And, working all together, we can make our life better. So that's my 2 cents.
And please share these podcasts with other people who might be interested, who might be able to benefit from the ability to achieve business success. So let me thank Doreen, let me thank Gina, let me thank Ellen, let me thank John for their contributions as always, and let me wish everybody a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, and everybody else who participated and listened today. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.